So it's been about 2 days since I've done a video, and a lot of my friends have been asking me how I feel about Mass Effect 3 coming out. And surprisingly, I am not against Mass Effect for the reasons most people think, such as, the insistence on bisexual characters and the drama of sexual decadence and debauchery. That is part of the entertainment industry. I'm desensitized by that. That's not the reason why it pisses me off about BioWare. I'm pissed off about BioWare because of their insistence upon leeching off the consumer that is so loyal to them. You will do anything for these people. They could piss on you and you would call it a shower. So, I looked up about Mass Effect 3 and come to find out they already have plans for DLC. They haven't even released the fucking game yet, and then they have DLC. And then, of course, you have the comment section where there's at least 2 out of 6 house niggers coming in there talking about how, they gotta make their money somehow. Yeah, they make $60 on a fucking game. I think they're making their money, And what gets me about DLC isn't even so much the extra content costs. Because, if they were working consecutively hard, I would call it a supplement. I would call it, like when Diablo used to release expansion packs. That's essentially what it is. It's like a smaller version of an expansion pack. And if that costed a nickel or a dime for, a 2 kilobyte expansion pack, then whatever. But that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is essentially downloadable content. Think about that for a minute. You don't have that on a hard drive. You don't have that on a CD disc that you can reuse again. If for whatever reason your computer crashes and you have to take it to the repairman, or you have to, delete your game because something happened to it, or maybe, your computer just gets old, or you need more room for new games and you have to delete memory to make room, you lose that content, and then you have to buy it over again. Unless you get the key code. I don't know how that works, but I'm pretty sure that once you get it, you're fucked. And, they expect you to only use it one time. They keep insisting on doing that. They have these little loops that you have to jump through, and it's dog tricks. It's not meant for a human being. Not a human being that is especially paying you money to play your fucking game when they could just as easily pirate it. Now, mind you, multiplayer games don't have this option. There are too many multifaceted variables involved in pirating a multiplayer game, and they know that. That's why they do it mostly with multiplayer. You notice Nintendo isn't as heavily on the freaking DLC and subscription fees and things like that. Why? Because most of Nintendo games are single player, or at least better off being single player. So they can't afford to alienate their customers like that. But they do it too in their own way. It's just Nintendo's better about it because Nintendo wasn't made in an imperialist Western country that loves money, that worships money. They were made in Japan, and Japan take precedence of honor and integrity and being on good terms with their family over money. So, if your mother thought you were being a disgusting vermin for what you were doing, that would be more terrible than losing all the money in the world to a Japanese person. And that might seem a little racist, but I think there's such thing as positive racism. I might be wrong, maybe some Japanese people are greedy assholes that don't give a fuck about anything but making another dollar. But I would rather believe that their culture preserves this sense of, goodness in them, this sense of integrity and discipline that makes them want to go beyond that. And it's not about the money, it's about making their family proud. And if that's racism, well, then by all means, call them greedy assholes that don't give a shit about anything but making another buck. So, that's what I'm trying to say here. How these people are just amoral. They're not even amoral. Amoral would be an animal. They are immoral. They go out of their way to be immoral. They go out of their way to be against morality. And, that's what pisses me off about Mass Effect 3. That's about what pisses me off about all video games, everywhere. All in their own different ways. Like Gears of War. Gears of War was a fucking terrible game. But beyond being a terrible game, Gears of War didn't even have DLC in the technical sense. What it did was it had more content locked away until you paid to pay for it. Are you fucking kidding me? So essentially, it was all there in the game. They didn't even have to work to do it. They just expect you to pay a little more extra to unlock that content. The privilege, the entitlement of these corporations astounds me. And then they got the fucking Uncle Toms defending them. These Uncle Toms paying for the games just the same as we are. And they're fucking defending them. Why don't you defend the poor for once in your life? Why don't you defend somebody who has to get out there and work his ass off every day for a minimum wage paycheck? You fucking sleazeball. You need to get ran over, and then someone needs to back up their car and run you over again because you are useless to society. You would rather support your vampiric overlords than your fellow human being who has to get up at 8 in the morning and go mop floors or, flip burgers on a grill or some other bullshit just to feed his family, just to feed himself. And instead you're defending corporations because they gotta make the money too. Well, yeah, they're a multi-billion-dollar company. They got enough money to last them several lifetimes. Do you have enough money? Do your friends and family have enough money? Think about that, you stupid fucking cunt. So, that's what I'm trying to say here. And that's my video to how I feel about Mass Effect 3. Or any Mass Effect, or any game for that matter. If you want to push your bullshit agenda about how love comes in all forms, man, or some shit like that, I don't care. I know it's wrong. I know it's stupid. But it's not my main concern. My main concern is the economic atrocities. My main concern is the plight of the working class and how even when it comes to a fucking video game, we get screwed over. And that's why I'm a communist. A lot of people don't like the fact that I don't adhere to social liberalism. But liberalism has nothing to do with communism. We've just compromised with them over the years because we thought they would be useful idiots. And they've proven to not be. They've proven to actually be a cancerous tumor upon socialism and upon communism by constantly caving to the demands of the free market and libertarianism because they go hand in hand. Immorality goes hand in hand with the market. Not even just prostitution, drug addiction, things like that. Just the basics of having no moral compass goes hand in hand with the profit motive. And until you figure that out, you're never going to learn. You're going to continue to hang around these fucking maggots and these just putrid excuses for human beings, and you're not going to get anywhere in life. You're not going to have any progress. You're not going to see anything positive happen in the world. That's all you can do, is try to do what you can to make the world a better place than when you left it. You're born into this world, and it's bullshit every which way around, and you try to do what you can physically and intellectually to try to make it more positive. And you're not going to do that with fucking reactionary, revisionist scum like the liberal left. And that's all I have to say about this video. I'll probably do another topic later on.